Husker fans, Sam McKewon with the Omaha World-Herald, omaha.com, and HuskerExtra.com. This is the three keys to Nebraska, Northwestern. Well, here we go. The Huskers in sort of a must-win situation, right? After they found a way to screw it up against Michigan State with the punt that many people won't forget anytime soon. Nebraska's now 2-3, and they play the Wildcats. Here we go. Northwestern has been pretty successful in this series. Let's be honest, they've won 3 of the last 4 against the Huskers. All of them have been close. Overtime win in 2017, overtime win in 2018, and then last year a 21-13 win where Nebraska basically got inside Northwestern's 20 about 3 different times and weren't able to score. So this is a situation where Nebraska knows Northwestern can beat them. The one time Nebraska's beaten them in the last 4 years, it was at the gun with a field goal from Lane McCallum, who's still on the team, by the way, as a safety. But he probably won't be kicking the field goals on Saturday. It'll be Connor Culp. All right, so the keys to this game. First of all, Nebraska's a bigger favorite than I think people would expect. 10.5 points, 11 on some lines. It's gone up from 8 to 11. That's kind of surprising, right? So the Huskers, probably the better team here. What's the first key? Well, it's pretty darn simple. Nebraska has to perform to a modest goal on special teams. What does that mean? Well, they can't blow it up the way that they did against Michigan State. Field punts, punt the ball in the general direction that you're supposed to. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, right? When you think about it, Nebraska's just got to get back to even. They're not necessarily going to be great. They're not going to win the game because of special teams. I would be stunned if they returned a punt or a kickoff for more than, 25 yards. But if they could just get back to even, punt normally, field punts, field kickoffs without fumbling them. You do those things, don't give up a kickoff return for a touchdown. You do those things, and I think you're on the way to winning this game. Because Nebraska controlled the line of scrimmage against Michigan State. Yes, I know the offensive line didn't play great, but they controlled the line of scrimmage in that game. If they can do that again, I think they're going to win this game, so long as they do that. Modest, right? Small goals, baby steps. Goal key number 2 is push over perfection. Scott Frost talked about this on Monday. He just wants his offensive linemen to knock other guys off the ball. He's not worried about it being perfect. He's not worried about every block being just so. And I'll tell you, when you watch Nebraska's run game, you kind of see a little bit of that. You see an overwhelming concern to cover everybody up. And what ends up happening is sometimes they'll get almost no one blocked. So I think what he wants is, hey, just blow some guys off the ball. Create a big crease, right? Like a 5-yard hole, and maybe the running back has options. As it stands right now, the holes are very small, and a running back's got to squeeze through it. And once he squeezes through it, he doesn't have a lot of room to do much else, right? He's running into somebody 2 yards after the hole, or he's running into somebody before he even gets back to the line of scrimmage. I think Nebraska's trying to be a little too cute in its run game. It's a very diverse run game. They're doing counters, they're doing power, they're doing zone, they're moving guys all over the place, they're running triple option, they're doing so many things that I think those offensive linemen have lost sight of what makes them just, really good. And so they've got to push a little bit more. Just focus on getting off the ball, hitting somebody, and moving them. And even if you don't move them to the exact right spot, guess what? Maybe that's good enough. So push over perfection. Key number 3, don't go chasing a win. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm not talking about the will to win, and I'm not talking about being aggressive. I'm saying don't put yourself in a position to create turnovers for yourself or make mistakes because you're pressing. Don't press against Northwestern. Northwestern's best way of winning a game like this is to lay on the ropes and wait for Nebraska to make a mistake and then hit them with a counterpunch. That's what Northwestern's going to try to do. If they're going to try to get 2 or 3 turnovers, they're probably going to play in somewhat of a soft zone. They're probably not going to let Nebraska break a lot of big plays. They're going to trust their front 7 to slow down the run, and Nebraska's going to have to be patient, and they're going to just have to march down the field about 3 or 4 times, and they'll win the game. It doesn't have to be complicated. But Nebraska can't press. The quarterback, Adrian Martinez. Don't press. let the game come to you. Nebraska's got a little bit better team than Northwestern this year. That's not always true, but I think it is this year. Northwestern's rebuilding on defense because they lost so many good players from last year. Their offense is kind of a mess. They might play 3 different quarterbacks, so you have to understand that Northwestern, this is not a vintage Northwestern team. This looks a lot closer to the 3-9 team from 2019 than it does the team last season that played for the Big Ten Championship. So, if Nebraska does those 3 things, I like Nebraska in this game. Maybe not by 11 points, maybe it's 7, maybe it's 10, but I think Nebraska can win this game if it is modestly good on special teams. If it focuses on moving defensive linemen on Northwestern side instead of trying to be perfect, and if it doesn't chase, right, if it just lets the game come to it. Nebraska's defense is going to have a nice day, I believe, and I think Adrian Martinez is going to make some plays, but it might take a little bit of time. This might be 10-7 at halftime. It might be 7-6 at halftime, but I like Nebraska eventually in this game to score 24 to 27 points. Northwestern will be somewhere around 17. All right, those are the 3 keys for Nebraska Northwestern. I'm Sam McKeown with the Omaha World-Herald, omaha.com, and HuskerExtra.com. Thanks.